My name is Casey Taylor. I'm 26 years old, and this is how I took revenge on the sister who used me, humiliated me, and thought I'd stay quiet. It was her wedding day. Golden hour, white roses, glass flutes, and fake smiles. Everyone kept calling it the perfect day. But for me, it started with a slap of betrayal and ended with a vow of my own. I stood outside the church, alone in the gravel lot. My dress rumpled from sitting in the back pew. No one was watching. Mascara streaked down my cheeks, not from emotion, but from rage and humiliation. I'd driven myself there, because of course no one offered a ride. No one saved me a seat. No one even noticed I came. That's when my phone buzzed. A message from my best friend, Jess. "Wait, is that your car in the wedding pics?" She sent a screenshot from Instagram, and there it was. My bright blue Mazda, covered in white ribbon, fake flowers taped across the hood, and "just married" smeared in big white letters on the back window. They used my car, the same one I had loaned to my sister Ashley just to run errands the day before. She said hers was acting up, and I didn't question it, because that's what little sisters do. We help. We say yes, even when we're not invited to the rehearsal dinner, even when we're not asked to be bridesmaids, even when we've slowly been erased from the center of the story we helped build. Ashley didn't want me in her wedding, but she wanted my things, my car, my time, my loyalty. She drove off into her perfect future in the one thing I owned outright, like I was just a prop in her fairy tale, like I was disposable. And as I stared at that photo, a switch flipped. It wasn't about the car. It wasn't about the wedding. It was about how she'd always seen me. Useful, but never worthy. Background, silent, small. She wanted my things, not me. That was the moment I knew. My silence? It was over. Amanda and I were only 2 years apart, growing up, but it always felt like a lifetime. She was the golden child, the one with the pageant ribbons, the homecoming crown, the perfect smile that lit up every family gathering. Our parents adored her, especially Mom, who basically lived through her. Every time Amanda walked into a room, it was like the air shifted, like the rest of us faded into wallpaper. I was quieter, the creative one, the helper, the one who never made a scene. I loved drawing, writing short stories, playing with colors and silence, but no one really noticed that. Not when Amanda was there in full sparkle and spotlight. I spent most of my teenage years in her shadow. Birthday dinners that turned into Amanda updates. Holiday photos where I held the camera. Graduations where her name got shouted and mine was just clapped for. When Amanda left for college, I finally got her old room. More space. My own window. But I also got her leftovers. Her old textbooks. Her rules. Her expectations. I wasn't allowed to mess up, because Amanda never did. While she got a full ride in a car from Dad just to keep her safe, I worked 2 part-time jobs to buy a beat-up Mazda and save for night classes. That car became my sanctuary, my freedom, my proof that I could build something on my own, without applause or backup. Amanda graduated with honors and got a job through one of Dad's friends. I didn't complain. I was used to being self-made. I stayed kind. I showed up. When her car needed repairs, I drove her. When she needed help moving, I carried boxes. When she got engaged, I clapped loudly. I still remember the day she told me about the wedding plans. It's going to be elegant. All neutral colors. Very timeless. Oh, and no offense, but we're keeping the bridal party super tight. Like aesthetic over everything. You know. I nodded, swallowed hard, told her I understood. Because I did. I understood my role, the one I'd been given since birth. Then came the trip. After a messy breakup, I started saving for a solo vacation. Italy. It was the first thing I was doing just for me. Something brave. Amanda overheard me telling Mom and laughed. You? Alone in Italy? That's brave. She said it like a joke, but it cut. And still, I kept showing up, kept driving her to dress fittings, kept letting her borrow the car when hers acted weird, because part of me hoped that if I kept being useful, I'd be seen. But I wasn't. The cracks had always been there. Years of side comments, dismissals, forgotten birthdays. But the wedding, the day she stole my car, my property, and paraded it through her perfect day without even asking. That was the moment. The cracks shattered. It wasn't just about the car. It was about how she saw me. How they all did. Not as a sister, as a tool. A placeholder. A prop in someone else's life. And I was done playing that part. After the wedding, I waited until the dust settled. Until the champagne dried and the Instagram captions were posted. To ask her. Not angrily. Not dramatically. Just face to face. Standing in Mom's kitchen while Amanda picked at leftover cake with a fork like nothing had happened. Why would you take my car without asking? She didn't even look up. Just shrugged and said, "Oh, come on. It's just a car. You weren't even using it." That was it. No sorry. No thanks. Just a toss-off like I was being unreasonable. Like I was the problem. I waited a beat. Gave her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she was tired. Maybe it hadn't clicked how wrong it was. But then Mom chimed in from across the room. Arms crossed. Don't ruin her day over something so petty. Casey, she's a bride. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go like every birthday they forgot. Like every time Amanda made me the punchline. Like every family dinner where my opinions didn't matter. Every group photo I took instead of being in. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just nodded and walked out, feeling that familiar burn in my throat. That lump of swallowed emotion. That had lived in me since childhood. I got in my car, and drove home with tears streaming down my cheeks, blurring the road and the years of being used, dismissed, forgotten. I sat on my bed that night, still in that wrinkled dress from the wedding, mascara smudged, phone in hand. My chest was tight, not from heartbreak, from humiliation. And that's when it hit me. A month earlier, Amanda had asked me for help booking her honeymoon flights. "You're better with tech," she'd said. "I don't get all those travel apps." So I used my account, like always. Found her the best deal I could. $5,000 for 2 first-class tickets to the Maldives. Paid for with her fiance's card. Booked under her name, using my login. Amanda never bothered to change the password. The confirmation was still sitting in my inbox. Flight numbers, dates, booking codes. I stared at the screen, heart pounding. She had no idea I still had access. No idea I could open her itinerary with a tap. She used me like a doormat. I whispered aloud, the words bitter and electric. So I did what any petty little sister would do. I opened the airline app, and I started planning. At first, I couldn't even believe I was considering it. I stared at the booking page like it might self-destruct, half expecting some digital hand to reach out and slap me. My finger hovered over the Edit Passenger Details button for a solid 10 minutes. I thought about karma, about being the bigger person, about how Amanda always managed to twist things to make me look like the villain. But then I called Lena. She answered on the first ring, and I didn't even say hello. Just, if someone took your car and acted like it was no big deal, what would you do? She didn't even pause. Key theirs. We laughed. Then I told her everything. The car, the wedding, the honeymoon tickets, the way Mom brushed me off, like I was the one overreacting. When I finished, there was a silence. Then Lena said the words that pushed me over the edge. They've been stealing from you your whole life, Casey. Your time, your voice, your space, and now your car. You owe them nothing. I opened the airline website. The booking was still there. Editable, fully accessible under my account. I changed the names from Amanda Taylor and Jason Hill to Casey Taylor and Lena Brooks. No alerts were sent. No notifications. It was done. Over. The next week, I left little breadcrumbs. Not because I wanted Amanda to figure it out, but because I wanted to feel the thrill of knowing. The delicious edge of justice before the fall. When she posted her countdown to the honeymoon, I replied with a red heart. I liked the airline's official page. I left a single comment under one of Amanda's wedding photos. Asterisk sounds like an amazing place. Hope it's everything you dreamed. Asterisk nothing. She was too busy basking in her own glow to notice the fuse I had lit the night before the flight. I packed. Lena showed up with a bottle of champagne and a suitcase covered in travel stickers. We laughed the whole drive to the airport, half from nerves, half from disbelief that we were actually doing this. From the gate, I sent Amanda one final message. I know you don't see me, but maybe you'll remember this next time you decide to steal from me. Then I turned my phone off. We boarded. Somewhere in the sky, with Lena asleep next to me and the ocean miles away. I thought, asterisk, maybe I wasn't the villain. Maybe I was just finally done being the doormat. Asterisk, when we landed, I turned my phone back on. It lit up like Christmas. Amanda's Instagram had gone from Maldives, here we come, to a frantic post in all caps. Asterisk, asterisk, WTF is happening. Asterisk, asterisk, a blurry photo of a boarding pass. A tag to the airline's customer service. A story rant about technical issues and my tickets were stolen. The group chat with my family was blowing up. Mom. Asterisk, Casey. Do you know what's going on with Amanda's flight? Asterisk, Amanda. Asterisk, tell me this isn't you. Tell me right now. Asterisk, Dad. Surprisingly neutral. Asterisk, whatever happened, I hope everyone cools down. Asterisk, I said nothing until the next morning. Lena and I were on a beach that looked like it had been filtered by heaven itself. White sand, turquoise water, drinks in coconut shells. I posted one photo. Just me, lying back on a beach chair, sunglasses on. Smile real and wide for the first time in years. Caption. Asterisk, some people steal your car. Some people take their dreams back. Asterisk, the comments section lit up. Iconic. I don't know the backstory, but I'm rooting for you. Whoever hurt you is in shambles. RN. And Amanda. She went dark. But me? I'd never felt more seen. Amanda showed up at our parents' house 3 days after the flight. Red-faced, blotchy, mascara-streaked, and louder than I'd ever seen her. She slammed the front door and threw her purse on the couch like it was a crime scene. She stole my honeymoon. She ruined everything. Our mom rushed to her side, horrified, pulling her in like a sobbing child. Oh my God, baby, what happened? What did she do? She changed the names on the tickets. She took my trip. She's on my beach right now. I wasn't there, but I got the full play-by-play later from my dad, who for once wasn't content to sit quietly in the background. Our mom was already texting me in all caps. Asterisk, what did you do? You are selfish, immature, cruel. Asterisk, but before she could keep going, my dad, the same man who'd spent decades avoiding conflict and keeping the peace, stood up from his recliner, turned to Amanda, and said, "She's not cruel. She's just finally standing up for herself." Silence. Amanda's breath caught in her throat. My mom looked stunned, like someone had flipped the script. Dad kept going. "I watched the way you and your mother have treated her for years. Taking, mocking, dismissing her when it suited you. You used her like she was your assistant, not your sister. And I should have spoken up sooner." He told Amanda she had no one to blame but herself, that she could have invited me to be part of her day, treated me like family, or even just asked before using my things. "But you didn't," he said, "and actions have consequences." Amanda left in a storm of tears, with my mom following her out the door. That was the day the perfect daughter image began to crack. Her husband? Furious, humiliated. His social media went quiet after people started asking why they weren't on their honeymoon. Meanwhile, Lena and I were on day 5 of boat rides and beach hammocks. We sipped cocktails at sunset, swam in clear blue coves, and laughed until our stomachs hurt. 10 days of peace. 10 days of healing. The best part. Right after I changed the flight names, I bought travel insurance. Something Amanda never would have thought to do after the trip. I submitted a claim and got 40% of the cost back. Amanda tried to sue me when she got wind of it. Threatened legal action. Her tone flipped from screaming to smug. "You'll pay for this." But the thing is, she didn't have a leg to stand on. The tickets were under my account. I had full access. Amanda had willingly given me the login. No contract, no paper trail, nothing but entitlement. When she finally contacted the airline, they told her, politely, that the original traveler had complete authority to update the reservation. And that was me. She screamed at them, apparently. Got flagged by customer service. The same customer service she once bragged she always knew how to manipulate. Now, the only thing she was manipulating was her reputation in our hometown. Small, gossipy. The kind of place where stories travel faster than fire. The tale of Amanda's stolen honeymoon spread like wildfire. Some said I went too far, but most whispered. Asterisk, good for Casey. About time someone taught her a lesson. Asterisk, Amanda's dream wedding became a cautionary tale. About pride, about pettiness, and about what happens when you treat someone like they're invisible. Because eventually, they stop staying quiet. And sometimes, they take your trip to the Maldives to prove it. When I got back from the Maldives, I wasn't the same girl who had stood outside that church with smeared mascara and shaky hands. Something had shifted, not just because I'd taken back what was mine, but because I had finally stopped asking for space in a life that never made room for me. The first thing I did was move out of the family house. No big announcement. No dramatic goodbye. I packed my things quietly and signed a lease on a tiny one-bedroom apartment across town. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine, and for the first time, I could breathe. I blocked Amanda and my mother. Completely. No texts, no calls, no family dinners, just silence. For 6 months, I didn't hear from them, and I didn't miss it. But my dad, he reached out, carefully at first. A text here, a check-in there. We started meeting for coffee on Sundays. No judgment, just showing up. I saw a different side of him. Not the man who sat in the corner while I was overlooked, but someone who finally admitted he'd noticed all along. He didn't try to fix things. He just listened. And somehow, that mattered more. I started going to therapy, signed up for a writing class, began journaling about all the things I'd never said out loud, all the times I'd been made to feel like a shadow in my own family. Lena, always Lena, read one of my pieces and said, "You need to share this." I laughed, but she meant it. We submitted a short essay to a women's magazine. I titled it, When the Family Favorite Finally Snaps. It went viral. Emails poured in from strangers, other forgotten sisters, overlooked daughters, the quiet ones who carried everyone's bags but never got asked to dance. I wasn't just telling my story. I was giving other people the courage to tell theirs. Somewhere along the way, I realized I didn't need revenge anymore. I didn't need to humiliate Amanda further or get the last word with my mom. I'd already taken back something they never gave me freely. My voice. And Amanda? She's still posting passive-aggressive quotes in pink script. Still throwing tantrums in silk pajamas on Instagram Live when people don't worship her wedding photos. But me? I'm writing. I'm healing. I'm building a life that doesn't require their approval to feel like mine. One quiet afternoon, I sat by my window, the sun warm on my legs, a chipped mug of tea in my hands. My inbox was open, flooded with messages from strangers who somehow felt like sisters. One read, "You told my story." Another said, "I never knew I could say no to family too." I scrolled slowly, letting the words sink in. These weren't just comments. They were little echoes of everything I'd once needed to hear. Proof that I wasn't crazy, that I wasn't alone. It still amazes me sometimes how far a single act of defiance can ripple. How a quiet girl who never took up too much space could suddenly become a mirror for so many people who had swallowed their hurt for years. I thought about everything I used to believe. That being quiet meant being kind. That staying out of the spotlight was the noble thing. That letting my sister take was just what good family looked like. But the truth is, kindness without boundaries is just self-drasure. My car, still mine, still bright blue and parked outside, still running perfectly. Like me, the plane tickets, worth every second, not just for the destination, but for the departure. Leaving that version of me behind, the one who apologized for breathing too loud. Amanda. She never got her honeymoon. Never got her apology either, because I stopped giving them out for free. My peace, unmatched, not because I burned bridges, but because I finally stopped trying to cross the ones that always led me nowhere. And as I looked out the window, inbox full, heart full, I smiled and thought, my sister took my car for her wedding, so I took the honeymoon. And I never let anyone take me for granted again.